everybody. Welcome to the Bay of Blood podcast. I am your host, Nudie from the NFW podcast. And tonight I have two special guest hosts tonight. Will Cardinal is here. Hello, Will.
Sup, my beautiful gangsters?
And BDG is here.
Yo, what up?
AKA PDGLGLQPLT.
To the LGBTQ.
Yep.
LGBDGLG.
Throw an X in there for the hell of it.
To BBQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's after Valentine's Day, so we're going to be doing two Valentine's Day classics tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us, though.
Oh,
really.
You're welcome. Anytime, my man. We're going to be doing Valentine, which just got a new Blu-ray release from the Screen
but
Factory.
I'd say, first of all, introduce yourself as the host. I mean, what are you doing? On what podcast can we find you if anyone's got the bad idea to actually find you?
Well, if anybody listening would have heard me say at the beginning that my name is Nudie from the NFW podcast.
Yeah, but you got more than one podcast, though.
Oh, that I do. Also do the Hard to Kill podcast with Alex Edwards. Everybody loves Alex. And I also have the It's Not Horror Okay with that other Canadian, Heather Powell, and a bunch of other people on the show, Mr. Venom. So, yes, those are two of the other shows that I do at the moment, along with guest hosts on all these other amazing shows with Gary Hill and a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
So I am out there. If you love this voice, I am out there.
You got this one, too.
Yes, this show, too.
Podcast, too.
The Bay of Blood.
Motherfucking podcast.
The highest rated episode ever was Iced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good shit. It was good shit. Let's be honest. It was.
Yep. Very good shit.
So, BDG, you got some... First of all, I'm sorry. I know you're like, inviting us tonight, but I gotta ask you some questions first. Well, let's begin with, is it horror or not? 7, is it horror or not?
I would say no. It's
Same here,
police procedural with some horror elements, but I would say no.
Is Jaws horror?
Again, no. More of a sea creature feature, creature feature adventure movie with horror elements.
How can I leave that thing on now? Let me see. No, it's horror, bro. It's definitely horror. To each their opinions, but bro, your opinion is hella wrong. Let me tell you.
Hey, I'm the host of this show. Don't start with me.
Oh. Okay, all right. Is Alien horror?
Yes.
And that's gonna be a tough one, I think. Well, it's not really is it horror or not, but if you had let's say Nightmare Before Christmas, would you put it with your horror films or on a different shelf?
Nah, I wouldn't be with my horror films.
But here's the real question. Is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie?
Halloween.
Both?
Yeah.
Well, if you gotta choose one, I'd say for me, Christmas, because I tend to watch more on Christmas than Halloween.
Yeah. Same with me. I mean, I don't know why. I think it's just nothing about Santa Claus says Halloween to me. But that's just
well, except Cannibal Claus and those kind of shit, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Cannibal Claus is the greatest Christmas movie ever.
No, it's Christmas Evil. That's the greatest one.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, well, since we're on the topic, what's your favorite horror Christmas film?
My favorite Christmas horror movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
The first one?
Yes, the second one is the first one, so yeah.
I still don't know what to make of that, you know. Was it a smart business move to reuse all the footage from part 1 and part 2, or was it just lazy filmmaking?
I think back then, especially direct-to-video releases, I think they made a ton of money on it, so they got what they wanted for it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I don't think it was very much beloved, but now because everybody's on this nostalgia craze and the garbage day, and
Oh yeah.
I think it's among the community, it's a beloved movie now, but
The
I
funny
think back
thing
then,
is, I saw part 2 before I saw part 1.
see, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. But it's the sort of thing I've come to appreciate part 1 a lot more. But at first I was like, this is just the same thing I saw in part 2.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
What about part 5 though? I love part 5.
The Toy Maker.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna do that next year for Christmas.
it's the like for me, it's probably I think I love it more than 2.
Wow.
Even for the cheesiness, like crappy factor going for 2, I think 5 is just so over the top, bro. That dude is actually like a toy at the end, bro. I mean, I just love that so much.
It's still been years for me since I last saw that. So I keep looking for a copy. I'll find one eventually.
Well, don't you have the 3-pack DVD? Is it out of?
No, I never got it, and I regret never
was-
having it.
But is it out of print? Because it was pretty cheap, though. It was like
I think it might be.
I paid like $23 for all 3, I think.
Yeah, I'm a check right now, but I seem
For
to think
3, I mean like 4. I mean 3, 4, 5, and 3, 3, 4, and 5.
oh, so you know the best ones.
Words are tough for him.
Let's take a look here.
So you mean you want to own a copy? Is it a physical copy, or you need to like download a copy?
Either.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Cool, because it's been years since I've seen it. Well, it's 26, 25. So, it's not...
I have 3 films.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable. But here's the real question.
I got 3 2 times now that I think about it. I got that. Now it's out of print, I think, but I got that 4-pack. With you got Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Oh no, yeah, it's 3. It's not 5. But you got Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. You get Slaughter High. You get Repossessed, and you get My Best Friends of Empire.
That's a really weird selection of movies.
I know.
It's like, damn. It's like those are complete. Like they're not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, check your chat.
Okay, cool.
Well, you're gonna have to edit that out, my motherfucking beautiful gangster.
I told you whenever you say I got to edit that out, I leave that in on purpose.
Motherfucker. One question for you. One last question. On my side for you. Mr. Neil motherfucking Lemoi. Favorite franchise? I already know your response.
It's easy. Friday the 13th. There's no question.
When you're dumbass, you're a dumbass.
No question in my mind. And you can't change. You'll never change my opinion.
You got some news for us, motherfucking MDGLQLDPL3?
There's really very little news. All I've got is
We got one regarding Friday the 13th, though. Some photos got released of the unproduced TV series / films that they are going on.
I mean, it was pretty decent, honestly. It looked like they were in the right place. You know what I mean?
Direction too, yeah.
Yeah. So there was that, which is cool. I like that we're kind of getting some more Friday the 13th news. It's been 11 years since the last remake, right? So, and apparently we got they're reckoning there's gonna finally be a decision on the court case.
Yeah,
by June or so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, from what I read.
I hope so. I mean, I just want them to get over themselves and get a new movie out there.
Who's screwing with his mic?
Not me.
What's the dumbass? That is Neil Lemoi.
I haven't moved.
Well, it was the ghost of the podcast.
The ghost podcast.
It was the beef.
It was the beef.
Oh, it was the beef.
Yeah,
So
so news-wise, all I really got is the new Grudge movie. The Blu-ray is going to have an alternate ending. That's
yeah,
kind of it.
yeah, and it
I mean,
sucks too. So
hey, I really dug that, so damn it. What the hell is this thing?
you need glasses. That's what you need because it sucks bad.
I have glasses and they work really good. Apparently, there's something coming out called Jurassic Thunder, and it involves a dinosaur with a giant machine gun strapped to it.
Must be
So
an asylum movie.
Either that,
Is it Asylum
it has to be,
or Phase 4?
it could be Wild Eye. I mean,
Oh,
that looks
yeah.
like a Wild Eye cover. It honestly does. That could be like the greatest movie ever made.
Is
I
it
gotta
better?
say.
I mean, is it better than? Do you think that film could actually be better than anything with Baby Yoda?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, man, if you were to,
Well,
strap a
I'm
machine gun to Baby Yoda, that would be even better.
I'm sorry, Neil. I know you're not a big fan of Baby Yoda, but we're both into Baby Yodaism. So,
Yep. The official religion of Baby Yoda. Praise be unto him.
what do you think about Baby Yoda, my motherfucker?
Baby Yoda is fine, just not every 5 seconds on the post.
Okay, what else do we got here? Parasite and Memories of Murder are going on the Criterion Collection. That's
Yeah, that's
kind of
awesome.
cool. And anything else? I'm really not seeing anything else noteworthy. Well, Robert Englund has said he probably won't play Freddy again, but
He says he will 1 year, then the next year he says he won't, and the next year he says he will. So
yeah. I still think I'm putting this out there. I think they should do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie where every kill is a different actor playing Freddy.
like an anthology.
Sorta, but the idea would be essentially there'd be certain things always consistent. Like you'd always have the red and green sweater, you'd always have, the glove and everything, but every person would see him different.
Yeah,
They'd have the basics down, but everything else would be, some person might see him and think like, okay, like he's a black guy. Someone because they they know him as.
Like Jason once was in Ghost in Hell.
Yes. No, I mean, it would be kind of
By
interesting.
the way, Neil, man up and talk.
I'm listening to YouTube babble. Go for it. I don't want to take over the show. It's my show. I'm going to let my guests talk.
Yeah.
No, but bro, talk all you want. We're all about that.
Yeah.
I like listening to your sexy voice.
There you go.
I got my translator on so I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's something I think could work, like an anthology type thing, where everyone sees him differently. You could have different actors and everything.
If he's going to do it, he needs to do it soon because that man is getting up there.
Hell, you know what? You could do an animated version with him doing the voice. I'd be down with it.
Yeah, Jerry mentioned that actually on his latest No More Room in Hell episode, and it's actually a pretty fucking good idea, really.
That's one thing I've always thought. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, especially, with the like nightmarish type images and everything, you could translate that over to like an animated feature really easily.
Or just leave it alone if you're gonna make trash.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd have to do it good. You'd have to get like a good like animation team or something, and come up with something really cool.
Yeah, but how come I talked to you about that? You love the remake, so let's move on.
Hey, no dissing the remake.
That's true.
I love the remake.
Oh, that's such trash.
I love it the same way I love driving past a car crash.
Remake that wall scene and make it worse than it was in the first movie. That's just bad, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Almost in the world, and you made that scene look like that.
Yeah, I mean that was one of those things that was CG for the sake of being CG.
And that movie was trash for the sake of being trash. So.
No, man. There was potential. We get into this every episode. There was potential there. And I just wish it had been utilized better.
It's true though. We got like what 12 episodes out, and
Yeah, every
time
episode. Well, you know, I put that sound clip in the opening just for the hell of it.
yeah, from the like in the opening when you hear
Yeah.
what is it? It's why are you screaming? For I haven't
Like I
even
haven't cut you
yet.
See, that's one thing about the remake that I like. You know, I like the
That it's
like the threats because they seem more. They're not playful. You know,
well, it's way more serious than anything we got. Like let's say in the past 10 years when it comes to Freddy, for sure. I mean, except maybe New Nightmare.
But then again, New Nightmare wasn't really Freddy, was it?
It was pretty fucking good. It's actually one of
Oh
my.
yeah,
I liked
it's
it.
damn good movie. But you know, is it really a Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
Well, yes, it is.
I watch it as a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but you know, with it coming into the real world and everything, it's almost like it could have been something else.
But he always comes in the real world.
Yeah,
He
but
did
I
it
mean,
in the first one.
I mean like the real world.
And then the
Like
Freddy's
Wes
Dead.
Craven and people
Freddy
there.
is like from the get-go. Freddy is fiction, and it's well established that he is fiction.
Yeah, that's something they could have played with more. Honestly, they could have done something with other characters. You could have done something with Jason. You could have done something with Michael Myers, with the same basic idea. You know, like the real world with these like characters appearing. You could have made a whole series.
That's true. I mean, but
I
well,
mean, would it
I
have
mean,
been any good? I don't know, but you know.
yeah. But you got any other news for us?
Not really. That is like pretty much it. I mean, we're still at that point at the beginning of the year where we're not really getting huge amounts of news. You know, I mean, hell, we're not even really getting anything about releases. Hell, all I can say is this: you know, that Birds of Prey movie was a flop. That's the only news I know from recently.
Does one of you have seen it?
I haven't.
No.
No, I didn't. You.
See,
Well,
the thing is,
Warner even changed the name, right?
yeah, they took it back and renamed it. Well, back to what it should have been named in the first place.
You know, Birds of Prey. Who cares about Birds of Prey?
Yeah, no one. Let's be 100% honest. Everyone is there to see Harley Quinn, and you know, show me someone who says they're not, and I'll show you a liar.
There was a report out today that the creator of Birds of Prey and director or whatever blamed it on misogynistic men not going to see the movie.
Oh,
So here we go.
shit.
Well,
Every time.
Here we go again.
Every time a movie flops that has a female lead in it, it's going to be men's fault now. Thanks a lot, Elizabeth Banks, you twat.
Well, hell, it's like what's it called? Like Spike Lee. If Spike Lee does a movie and it doesn't do well, he always just claims it's because he's black.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's maybe because you didn't do a very good movie.
Yeah, but Spike Lee is a fucking legend, bro.
Okay, he's done like 2 good movies.
He's a legend.
He's a legendary bad director.
Spike Lee is a legendary bad director.
2 good movies, that's it.
He's a legendary Knicks fan.
Yep.
Let's not jump on that topic, man.
No, I mean my whole thing has just always been if your movie doesn't do well,
No.
yeah,
You brought
if
it
your
up.
movie doesn't do well, it doesn't mean that everyone else is against you.
What are the 2 good films that he made, though?
Well, one, they made it R-rated, so none of the kids could go see it.
Neil, shut up. What are the good films that he did?
He
I'm
did
gonna
that
hang up on
one.
you.
I can never remember the name of it. Was it Do the Right Thing?
Yeah, Do the Right Thing, bro.
Do
That
the
is
white thing.
absolute all-time favorite
That's
film.
a damn good movie. And he did Summer
Mo
of
Better
Sam.
Blues. Mo Better Blues, bro.
See,
Mo Better Blues.
I didn't dig Mo Better Blues, but that's just me, you know. That's just like
Fuck
probably a
outta here,
personal
bro.
taste thing.
Can't stand
No,
White
I mean
men can't jump.
my big ears can take anymore, bro. I just can't.
I know. Look at them things. I imagine
dude,
they
with
can
those
take
ears,
that.
yeah, they can
Yeah.
take a lot more than that.
I can take Willis's BBC. The look of that.
Oh, no, but I mean, my whole thing is that, like, if your movie doesn't do well, it's nobody's fault except your own. It's like there's a reason why the Ghostbusters remake didn't do well.
Well, there are some films that don't do well, but are actually pretty good. I mean, just look at Doctor Sleep.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get that, you know. I get that, you know. There's that, but there's also the fact of like I said, don't blame like other people for your movie not working.
Failure, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like
when it comes to Doctor Sleep, the only people I can blame is actually us, horror fan. Because from what I read online, pretty much everyone like just ghosted. Like they didn't go to the theater to see it.
I think the problem with Doctor Sleep was it was released at the wrong time. You had the perfect time. You could have opened that like just before Halloween. You could have got all people like hyped to go see it like for Halloween and everything. But no, they waited till December, you know, and it's like I mean I get they wanted to, you know, connect it with like when The Shining was released or whatever or something like that. But it would just seem to be the wrong time. It should have been a Halloween release or at the very least a summer release.
Speaking of Halloween, though, I got a little bit of news for y'all. James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers in Halloween 18, said Halloween Kills is gonna be Michael Myers on speed. It's gonna be Halloween on speed. It's gonna have like the biggest body count probably of the whole franchise, and it's gonna be brutal.
Nice.
Good.
That's one thing I definitely loved about the 18. The fact that like everything was very brutal.
I liked 18 a lot.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I like it more.
I just love that one scene, you know, where like he like comes into the house and there's like the old woman there, and it's just this like moment of like, oh okay, I guess I better whack her.
Oh yeah, with the hammer.
Yeah, you know, and it's just kind of like, damn. I still think the biggest mistake, that was the biggest mistake. They should have left that more ambiguous.
I don't think it's a mistake, though. I mean, what we actually need is, I think, to see, and Halloween Kills, from what I read online, is actually going to explore that territory in a decent amount, because there is supposed to be like flashback scene to that fateful Halloween 78 night that Laurie like first met with Michael Myers. And what does Michael do while stalking? Like he's standing like behind a tree for like an half hour, then move. Like he gotta do something. I mean,
I don't think I want to know what he's doing.
He's masturbating.
Exactly. That's why he's standing so still.
And I have one scene you can see the cigarette smoke. He had a cigarette when he was done.
You know, it's like you said before with the Rob Zombie Halloween. I don't want too much. I don't want to know too much about Michael.
And it's true. I don't want to know shit about Michael, but I want to see what he is up to when he's actually like he escaped. Like he's listening like to some FM music like in his car, like just waiting for shit to go down. No way.
Man, don't you know he's listening to horror podcasts?
He's listening.
Maybe he's taking a nap. He's going to be up all night.
Yeah. I just want them to address who taught him how to drive. That's it. That's all I want to know.
It's a rest in Halloween 6, bro.
Yeah, it's just like you know, what, like somebody taught him how to drive, whatever. It's like
yeah, even more like, in the even more in the producer's cut.
Yeah,
See-
Machete taught him how to drive.
I would just love it if there was just some guy who was like completely racked with guilt because back in '78 he taught Michael Myers how to drive a car. He's still alive to this day, and he's just completely racked because he's like if it wasn't for me, he'd have had to walk and we'd have caught him.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna jump on a bus. But then again, knowing Michael Myers, you just might. You never know.
True that. So, should we get into the what we watched during the last day's week?
Yeah, sure. I'm down for that.
Let's let the motherfucking mute speak for one
The
day.
host.
The mute Neil Muti.
I watched VFW today.
How is that?
It was good. It was a cross between fuck. I can't think of the fucking movie now. The John Carpenter one, Assault on Precinct 13. It was kind of a cross between that and some other invasion type movies. It was good. I enjoyed it. I just don't get the latest trend by all these new directors now to film everything with that red light tint. Like I don't understand. Like everything's so dark in the red tint light, and it's the same director who did Bliss. If you guys watch that one had a lot of off-color film
It was
too.
part of my top 5 of 19. I love that film so much, bro.
I still have to watch it.
It's good. I enjoyed it. The actors are great in it. It has all the badass old timers in it, so it was good. But I wish they would get away from this tingy red light.
And
color.
visually, it's literally a treat. Visually, it's beautiful.
What is?
Bliss, not you, of course.
I'm just glad you turned your camera off.
That
Oh man.
He's masturbating, so he turned his camera off.
Yep.
yeah. Just listening to your sweet voice.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
Heather
Yeah,
did too,
it's good.
right?
It's good, so you should check it out.
What's the premise though?
I just said, like an invasion thing. This girl steals these punks' drugs. It feels like it's almost post-apocalyptic or like a town and the cops don't give a shit. So like this guy, it feels like this guy runs it, and he makes these drugs for these people who are like fucking zombied out on these drugs. And this girl's fiending. So spoiler, he throws the drug over the roof, and he says, "If you want it, go get it." So the idiot jumped off the roof and killed herself to go get the drug. And the girl's sister stole the guy's stash. And as they were chasing her, she ran into this VFW that was kind of across the street, I guess,
Okay.
where all the old army guys were all drinking and shit. So they had to be like army guys and protect her from these idiots trying to kill, because they ran in there and started to kill her, and they killed one of the army guys. So they had to batten down the hatches and protect her and themselves, and it was good. It's got William Sadler in it, and Fred Williamson, and the dude from Don't Breathe,
Yes, that
Stephen
guy.
Lang.
And Gay Austin.
Austin.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
Gay Austin. And she's a female, bro, by the way.
That's a woman? That
Yeah,
name?
that's a woman. Gay Austin is a woman.
We'll get into that when we get to that movie. Man.
So,
Weird.
B, you got something you watched?
Let me just think. I mean, most of what I watched is stuff we're going to be covering on other shows, so I won't bring too much into it. I watched Alien Contamination. I watched, obviously the 2 movies we're talking about tonight.
Vampire.
Oh, yeah, Planet of the Vampires. I watched that. What else? Watched Parasite. I really dug that.
I still have to see it, but...
The Demi Moore version.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man, yeah, and I've watched some, not really documentaries, but these like true haunting stories and everything, like where they talk about like hauntings and everything. I watched I watched a bunch of
Haunted or
those.
a haunting?
Stuff kind of like that, but it's like, like Great Haunted North and stuff, and it's like all like about like Canadian ghost stories and stuff. I watched a few of those on Tubi. Those were pretty fun. And I watched Hollywood Ghost Stories last night. I love that.
Hollywood Ghost Story.
It's like a hour and a half long thing hosted by John Carradine.
Okay.
And it just talks about like, quote unquote like real life hauntings in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It's it is what it is, but it's always fun just like when you got nothing else to do, just pop that on, enjoy it.
Well-
And one other thing I watched this movie. It's actually supposed to be on Shudder. It's called Mon Monsters.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that on the
It's
chat.
Chinese flick. That movie is badass.
Yeah, from how you were talking about it, bro, I
Yeah,
will watch it for sure.
it was great. I loved it. The
Can you
name,
give a synopsis for the listeners and motherfucking
yeah,
dude?
sure. You got like these people. They're like it never says what grade they're in, but they're like in school. And you got this guy. He's like kind of the smart guy, if you will, and he's like being bullied by these other guys. Stuff happens, and he ends up having to go with them to some like old people's house, like old people's like home, like where all these old people are. And while they're there, they see these.
A daycare?
Yeah,
Oh, where Will works?
yeah, pretty much. and while they're there, they see these two people like eating somebody. It turns out they're like creatures. They never really say vampires, but they can't go out in the sun and everything, and they end up capturing one of them, and essentially they just start kind of torturing it for fun, for no other reason, just except it's something to do. And then the other one is like sort of going on a rampage and taking everybody out. And it was a damn fun movie.
But you got it on Blue, right? So it's available on Blue.
Yeah. Got it on Blue for like I think $12 at Walmart.
It's good shit, right? It's a buy.
Oh, it's definitely a buy. And the thing is, the problem with it, I think, is the name. The name makes you think, like monsters. It makes you think of something.
Yeah,
like
and that's
cheesy
what
and-
I said. I was like, mon. You mean monster?
Yeah, it's a really. The name doesn't do it justice. It should have been renamed for a release over here. Because, yeah, there are a few little comedy elements, but they're so few and far between, and it's just... And the level of gore that's in it was really surprising. They don't cut away. They, like, rip people apart, and you see everything, so it's pretty good.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
It's definitely worth watching.
I'm definitely going to try and pick this up. What about you, Neil?
What
Are
about
you
me?
going to try and watch it?
If it's on Shudder, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, apparently it's like a Shudder original.
Cool. Yeah, I have Shudder, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's damn fun.
Well, my turn, I guess.
Yep.
What I watched, well, first of all, I rewatched for maybe the fourth or fifth time. Well, since I knew about this film, The Dead Next Door.
Ah, yes.
Have you ever seen it, Neil?
Yeah, one time, a long time ago, when it first came out.
What a blast this film is.
I don't really remember too much about it.
Let me read just the back of the Gore Classic Collection Splatter Rampage video. I got the Blu-ray now, but it's like, I think it's a Canadian release or some shit, but the way they describe the film is just perfect. So, The Dead Next Door is a zombie lover's dream come true. An inventive scientist has created the ultimate virus. It takes over and replaces the corpse cells, using it as a slave to keep supplying its favorite dish, humans. When the virus goes awry, the government fights back by creating a crack team of soldiers called the Zombie Squad, and they are literally Zombie Squad. They got patches on them saying Zombie Squad. Their mission: save the humans and seek out and destroy the dead. From the streets of Washington D.C. to the fields of Virginia, and on Virginia, does Jeremy live in Virginia?
No, he does not.
He, he should. He should. And on,
He should.
He lives in Virgin.
There you go.
and on the suburbs of Akron, Ohio, our heroes fight a non-stop struggle for life and death. Along the way, stumbling onto an insane religious cult, which is, speaking of religious cult, the head of the cult is actually named Mr. Jones or something like that, which is a nod to Jim Jones, who was the head of the Jonestown cult. So that's pretty awesome. And you got plenty of nods like that. Like there are some characters who are named Savini. You got one who's called Romero, I think, or something like that. Like Doctor.
Yeah.
It's just overall like fan service. It's really fucking cool. It's even I'd say it's I would tend to say like after Day of the Dead and Land of the Dead, I don't really like enjoy like survival and things like that. I would tend to pop this in instead. Like, oh shit got crazy and everyone is just laughing because no one can do shit about it. So, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but you know how I am.
Oh,
Don't take anything too seriously.
it's a damn fun movie. It really is.
So yeah, where was I? Fight a non-stop struggle for life and death. Along the way, stumbling into an insane religious cult bent on keeping the dead alive. And well until the day comes for their ultimate mission to replace the living as the Earth's inhabitants. It's a non-stop terror and violence. It's non-stop terror and violence where your neighbors become the dead next door.
It's damn fun.
It's damn fun. It really is. I mean, even the opening credit, like you got one zombie like picking up a public phone, like, and he's trying something, and it just says like, the line you are trying to reach has been disconnected. Like no shit. I mean, and you got plenty of gore. You got some pretty decent effects too for the budget and the time it was made. I mean, I think it was released as an indie release, like independent release or some shit. So
I think so.
it's really just a blast. It really is. And I mean, it's a cult film with not enough of a cult, I think, if you will.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, all around good shit. If you want to grab the limited blue, it's still on sale, I think, on Amazon. Well, if you live in Canada, you probably don't, but we do. Not Neil, but
No, we don't live in Canada. You're right.
I think it's pretty cheap on normal Amazon as well.
well, even if Neil wants it, I mean, he's a broke-ass motherfucker, so he won't be grabbing it up.
I will not.
So should we move on to the main reviews, guys?
Yeah, sure, I'm down.
Yes. Let's
Yes.
do it.
The dude wanna fuck Heather. He's got something planned, You gotta make it quick.
Not tonight. I'm not. She's still in Canada.
Oh, okay, all right. So, should we start with Hospital Massacre or Valentine?
Valentine.
Yeah.
Let's go with Valentine. So, should I give a synopsis or someone does?
Yeah, go ahead. It's all good.
So, revenge is sweet, just like Valentine's Day chocolate. At least that is at least that is what a vengeful Cupid masked killer thinks. Be my Valentine or else. Broken hearts and other mortal wounds await a cast of contemporary young stars like me. Like I am, when they play dating scenes, veterans dying for love in this humor-laced, twist-filled thriller. That's not really a synopsis.
Not really.
It was nice listening to you read it though.
No doubt about it. Can someone find that fucking synopsis?
Let's just say it's scorned guy gets revenge.
Yeah, a Cupid masked babyface killer stalks the Hollywood elite on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And it's all based in the same universe as Buffy and the Vampire TV series.
Why? Because it has one character from the show in it.
Yep.
David Boreanaz.
Dave Boreanaz.
Boreanaz.
Yep.
Actually had a lot of stars in that movie.
It's the sort of thing. It's a lot better than people think.
I think so too. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it though. I mean, and people tend to forget about it. Not so much in recent years, but like it was pretty. I mean, that film came out in 2001, I think. 2001.
2001.
Yeah. So that film came out in 2001, and I mean, pretty much every studio was like, trying to be the next Scream, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's why some of those films like kinda got forgotten, I think.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, the Scream clones as a whole, though a lot of times could be pretty good. A lot of the times were completely forgettable. So a lot of them just kind of fall under that same umbrella, of forgettable.
But it's not forgettable at all.
It's not. It's a damn good movie. And,
yeah, but is it one that you go back to? Like you just said, you haven't seen it probably since it came out. So like it's not. It kind of is forgettable when you think about it, because it's not a movie that you just decide to throw on at any point.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good. It's good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it when I saw it, and I even own a DVD or an earlier Blu-ray of it, but I never watched it again. Like, it's not a movie that, like, I'll watch My Bloody Valentine every Valentine's, but I don't think to put this movie on.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, that like you don't think to put it on.
So it kind of
really
is a forgettable movie.
Well, I think it's a forgettable movie until you like rediscover it.
Yeah,
I really think so, because before like we talked about like doing a Valentine show, I was like, well, there's My Bloody Valentine. I knew there was like Hospital Massacre, but I was like, what about Valentine? Like, and like it's weird because like I keep up with like in horror groups and shit, and like this year, Valentine was everywhere.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
because it just got that new release from Scream Factory, so it's brought up into everybody's eye again, because with this new release, everybody's thinking about it again.
Yeah, but I don't think it's all about. I mean, yeah, he got it like a new release and shit, but I think like how can I say it? I mean, you can't just like put if it was trash, nobody would even care to talk about it. If it was that forgettable, I don't think anyone would care to actually cover it or talk about it.
I think one of the big problems with it was everything was spoiled before it came out.
Yeah, with the trailer.
The trailer and like it just became known that David Boreanaz was the killer. If you haven't seen the movie, tough. That's
Bro, you just spoiled this shit, bro.
I totally did, but if you haven't seen it by now, get off your ass.
Yeah, really.
But everybody knew, and they were like, there was no question, like he's the killer, and it's like
Speaking of
that was supposed to be a secret,
Speaking of question, I got one question. If you were in the shower with, a shitload of shampoo in your head and you had to go to work, but suddenly you're out of water, I would wait for the water to actually come back before, rinsing my head in the toilet.
The thing is, that's definitely true, but also there's kind of a charm to it, and I don't know
Yeah,
what
but who would do that though? Who?
people.
Who?
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure someone would. There's kind of like I said, like a bit of a charm to it. The fact that she wants to get her hair cleaned, like all there is the toilet, so we're gonna use the toilet. It's like, oh,
Has anyone seen it in theaters?
Yeah,
I
I did.
saw it in the theater. Yeah,
Damn, am I young?
yeah,
Yeah, you are.
Little baby Yoda.
Baby
Yep.
bite.
Baby bite.
Mhm.
yeah. I thought it was a pretty fun movie in the theater, but I remember thinking like with everything else that was coming out around the same time that it was just like everything else.
Yeah, and that's why I don't feel like it's a very memorable movie.
Yeah,
They're
I
all
mean,
the same.
For its kills, I think it is. I mean, just look at the Spock kill. It's
yeah,
pretty fucking cruel, and even the opening, bro. That well, it's not really a decent like memorable kill, but the movie opens like right away. In that morgue, and
Yeah, that's a good scene.
get that like killer is just like stabbing every fucking like body bags. It's pretty fucking cool, I think.
But again, there's a reason that you don't pick this movie to watch. There's got to be a reason why, right? Of all the movies that are out there, there's just other better movies that you don't just say, well, let's put Valentine in. It's just like he said, it's basically a rehash of all the movies from that time and era. They're all the same. They're all the pretty faces, the same kind of setups. All the movies in that era were all like scream like, and this
Yeah,
is
but
not.
some are
To me,
still enjoyable, bro. I mean,
I'm not saying it's not enjoyable. I didn't say that, but it's not a memorable film. It's not a movie that you'll come home and say, "I'm going to watch Valentine today," just because.
well, I think
You'll pick 500 other movies before you pick this movie.
I think it becomes that now, because I can easily see myself next Valentine Day like putting this on as a double feature with my Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I don't see it.
yeah. I mean, it's the sort of thing. It's like I said, had this come out maybe like in 2008 or 2009 or whatever, I think it would have had a bigger following and everything than it does. But it's just a fact of when it came out, there was I Know What You Did Last Summer, there was Scream, there was Urban Legend, there was all of these. It sort of fell just at the wrong time.
Yep.
At least that's what I think.
Well, wrong.
Dude,
I
why
mean-
are you fighting so hard for this movie?
Yeah, because maybe I wasn't around to say like you guys were like seeing all those films like popping out now and then, and they were pretty much all the same, and some are pretty forgettable, like Urban Legend, which it's the same director as Valentine. Urban Legend is so forgettable, but I think there are some elements that are actually pretty memorable to Valentine, really. From the look of the killer to the pacing, I think it's well paced too. I mean, it can be dumb in some place, but it's actually enjoyable more than certain films like, I Know What You Did Last Summer or things like that.
It's the sort of thing. I think it's the definition of like a forgotten movie.
Um,
I mean,
I-
I find it.
Iced.
Well, yeah, Iced and Valentine. There you go. Essentially, it was a movie like. There's a lot of movies like this really that are screwed over by the producers, and that's I think is kind of one of the things that happened with that with Valentine. I think had it not been like I said, had everyone not known who the killer was, I think they'd have it would have been more popular than Scream.
Well, you know what? You're kind of right because I saw it when I was pretty young. I mean, I remember like renting it on VHS. I remember it because the only thing I remember is that VHS sleeve was trash. That's the only thing I remembered about it.
Yeah.
And when we talked about it, like what, maybe 2 weeks ago or some shit, or this week or anything, but when we got to actually talk about it, I was like, it was pretty decent from what I remember.
Mm.
And I wasn't like I said, the only thing I remembered about it was the sleeve, the VHS.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a first watch, if you will, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and it really, 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 I had a blast with it. Really, plain and simple, I had a blast. I had a fun time. I was enjoying like 2 and 3 beers, and I watched it with my girlfriend, like one hand under the remote or the cigarette, and the other hand in her vagina, bro. And I had a blast.
There you go.
That poor girl.
You know, she got good taste, bro.
She must have done something wrong in a previous life.
So yeah, so should we get to the ratings or?
Yeah, sure.
All right, for me, overall, it's a 7.5, Jason Lloyd style. Rewatchability, I'd say 9. Is it a buy or rent? I'd say it's a buy. The new 2K scan of it is absolutely awesome. So yeah, good shit.
For me, the ratings are kind of similar. I give it an 8 out of 10 for overall, like, enjoyment and everything. For rewatchability, it's like a 7. Like, I'll probably watch it next Valentine's Day.
Question is,
Yeah.
do you think it was a 7 a year ago,
It might have been, yeah.
or maybe maybe like 5 years ago?
I think it would have been, honestly. I mean, I think enough time would have gone past since I saw it that I could have appreciated it better. And for buy or rent, I give it a buy. I mean, I haven't picked up the Blu-ray yet, but hell, even the DVD looks good.
Yeah, that new 2K scan is phenomenal.
For me,
Well-
what?
What about you, my motherfucking new team motherfucking?
Jesus Christ.
What the hell was that?
He really is a special boy, isn't he?
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 7 overall. As far as rewatchability, I'm giving it a 5 because, like I said, none of us have watched this movie in 20 years probably. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So B, now you know you gotta edit this whole thing out.
And buy it. I mean, I own the DVD, so part of a collection, and I will watch it. I will watch it again someday, but I just don't. Even after this discussion, I don't feel the need to run and turn it on. It's an all right movie, but it's not anything special. And there's better movies to watch, and the next one we're going to talk about probably more watchability.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. I love that film so much.
Yeah.
So now, Hospital Massacre,
Otherwise known
also
as
known
X-Ray.
as X-Ray. Yeah. Well,
It
first
took
of
me
all,
forever to find it because that.
Susan Jeremy goes to a local hospital for a routine examination. Once inside, she discovers that someone doesn't want her to check out, unless it's in a body bag. A psychotic killer keeps her trapped inside the hospital, having fixed her X-rays to make it look like she has a terminal illness. How awesome is that? Meanwhile, he brutally murders everyone she comes in contact with. Starring Gay Austin.
That name, man, I don't know.
Would have been funnier if it was a guy, though.
Yeah.
But just to see the name Gay Austin, like, bro, that was so awesome.
Yeah, like I saw that, and I sent a message to you, didn't I? When it said, like, there's someone in this called Gay Austin,
Yeah.
and I was like, really? Like they're not just making this up? And it's like, no, that's their name.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened to her though, because she was born from what I read, she was born in '59, and she died I'll check it out. You can edit that afterward. But gay Austin. I'll have some penis showing up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Actor, hospital massacre. Well, you can leave it in. It's more authentic, but hard hospital. Well, nah, that's not what I want. Gay Austin, yeah, Gay Austin. There she is. Actress, hospital massacre. Only known feature. Um, yeah, so Gay Austin was born in on June 29, 1953, and she died on February 16, 1983,
Okay, so like literally 2 years after the movie.
age 29.
Dang.
And I can't find anywhere what happened to her.
Surely it's a little peep.
There you go.
Probably fentanyl laced Xanax pills.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like everything is so, like the thing I enjoy the most. It's kind of like an, you guys know what an ASMR video is, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the breathing and the mask of the killer, like is ASMR.
It is. It completely is. And the funny thing is, I was watching that and I'm totally like, what's going on here? Is this like guy like asthmatic or something?
Oh yeah, well, especially when we get to the wheezing part of the.
Oh yeah, the wheezing wing of the hospital. Yeah. I thought that was just crazy.
Yeah, and notice how every hall, every set pieces is like all smog and foggy and shit. Like that's some big ass smokers that work there, right?
Yeah. Oh, I just found it so funny when she just lights up a cigarette in the middle of a hospital.
Well, back then, yeah.
Back
then,
then, that's how it was. I mean,
Yeah, that's how they rolled back then. But
yeah,
still,
as long as you don't go in the wheezing part of the hospital, bro. I mean,
yeah. See, that would have made me laugh really if she lit up a cigarette there. It's like all these people with like lung cancer, and she's like, well,
just get in a little bit of
I don't
can.
care. We're just gonna keep going.
Get in a little bit of cancer.
Yeah, just a little bit.
What about the look of the killer too? I mean, he like cares about his look like so much. He even got like that thing like over his shoes, like throughout
Yeah.
the blue thing.
Yeah.
He is a doctor.
Yeah, but not really at the same time. I mean, and what about that score? Every time he kills, like hey,
Oh man.
What
Like-
about the girl,
like-
Barbie Benton? What a body on that woman.
like a The Omen score going for like a straight up like 80s generic slasher, like hey, every kill, bro. That resonated so much.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's
She
just
was,
all around awesome.
She was a Playboy playmate.
Oh, she was. Oh, that's why
Oh,
she
no.
was naked, like doing like. That's one thing I wrote to BDG. Like, why is she gotta be naked? Like, he's just like taking her hard signs with his thing, like for like what 20 minutes straight.
When I rented that movie back in the day, man, I would like pause the VHS on that scene as I was scanning her whole body.
And
She's incredible.
She got puffy nipples though. I hate that.
Well, you just pinch them and they don't get puffy anymore.
You're puffy.
But she was actually dating or living with Hugh Hefner. She was one of Hefner's girlfriends at the time. She was all over TV too, back in the 70s and 80s, on the Love Boat and all those shows. She used to be like a guest actress on all those shows. So she was a pretty prolific actress.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't do many movies, she was all over the place.
A pretty prolific actor. You know, the guy beat his meat hard to some shit. You know, she was pretty prolific.
She's great. I don't care what you say. She's beautiful. She still looks pretty good today for her age.
Well, at least she's not dead like Gay Austin is.
Oh man. It's just mean.
Gay Austin looks pretty good nowadays too.
Oh,
boy.
dude. Yeah, that's going into a completely different.
Let's
That's. We'll
keep it
save that for the necromantic show.
That's exactly what I was about to say, or an aftermath show, or anything like that. But yeah, one thing, high body count, bro. I had no idea. I didn't remember how much kills that film had going for it.
It is. It has.
It's a high body count, really.
Yeah. I just found it so funny how almost like nonchalant he was about it. Like he kills that nurse and he just sticks her in a wheelchair and just kind of chucks her into a room.
Oh yeah, yeah, and isn't that after she was hiding behind some curtains, but you can see her feet clearly.
Yeah.
And
There's
she's dropping her lighter and she's trying to reach out for it, and you see that point of view where you see the feet going towards it. You're like, no way he's not seeing that shit. No way.
It's one of those things, I don't even know what to say about it. It's like,
It's an 80s thing.
yeah, it is. I mean, that's the thing also, this is completely a movie of its time. You could not make this movie like in the 90s.
And the Scream Factory Blu-ray looks amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen the 1080 version of it, but I haven't the actual Blu-ray, so...
It comes with a schizoid on it, I believe.
Yeah,
The
Will
Schizoid
was saying it's a good...
it's good. It's not awesome shit by any mean, but it's good. It's enjoyable for what it is, especially for $25 for both of them. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, prices like that, you can't really...
and what about that motherfucking dude in the beginning that he just straight up eating a burger? He drops ketchup and shit. That dude was straight up how much ketchup can I fit in a burger?
Yeah,
That
definitely.
was
Of
When
all...
this movie got released, it was a first day buy for me.
Cool.
when was the first time you saw it?
Oh, when I first saw it was in the 80s when VHS and all that back then. But when they announced it, it was a pre-order for me right away because I always loved the movie when I was younger, and it's one of them. It might not make a top 10 list for me, but it's one of those movies that I do like to watch every now and again.
I would say it's in my top 20 slashers of all time.
It might make it in the top 20.
Ice being number one, of course.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it was just a really well done slasher film. And people always kind of rag on slashers and anybody could make those. Not really. I mean, a really good slasher film is kind of hard to come by.
Yep.
The best one we got lately is Black Christmas.
Please tell me you mean the remake.
Not the pre-make, the recent remake.
Evil, tells you.
Can you give your ranking on Black Christmas 19 one more time?
It was minus 476. Yeah, I really did not like that.
Shit, and shit.
Yeah. And that's being a bit kind to shit. And, shit didn't do anything to hurt anybody, but that movie did.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Says the guy who watched 5 minutes of it and then turned it off.
Yeah.
Was it 5 or 7?
No, I got to maybe 13 minutes or so.
I made it about a half hour. A little bit after the song, and then I turned it off.
God damn, bro. You're a tank. I don't know how you managed to do it.
I don't either, but I did.
Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, hell, I watched the entire damn thing. I don't even know how I did it.
And I don't, to go back to the actual topic, guy, I mean, there's something about horror films set in a hospital.
It just kind of works.
And I like that that hospital actually had people in it as opposed to Halloween too.
Well, Halloween is way better than Hospital Massacre, bro.
Oh yeah, it is, but I'm just glad that there was actually people in the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, that was one thing with Halloween 2. You would have thought with the amount of people, like, you know, died that night or whatever, that there would have been more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, maybe like how I see Halloween 2, it may seem weird, but to explain, I love to see it as like, every victim, every like injured person were dispatched to some other hospital, so that's why everyone had to go to another hospital. That's why this one was so empty. But maybe it's just me, but I love. I mean, I would give my fucking life for Halloween 2, bro. I love Halloween 2 so much.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
my all-time favorite sequel. That and Jaws of Revenge.
Jaws of Revenge, otherwise known as Voodoo Shark.
Yep. Did you know about that, Neil?
The voodoo shark, yes.
Yeah. Good shit.
Mm.
So
I love the fact that someone was crazy enough to write that in. Well, you know what would work? I've been reading a lot about voodoo, and I know about sharks. Voodoo shark. That totally sounds like a wild.
an asylum script.
Yeah, it does. Though it'd probably be a bit more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like Baron Samedi is a shark. You just
No, I'm sorry, bro.
shark comes out with a hat on and like smoking a cigar.
No, I'm sorry, bro, but Corey said it's his favorite.
Yeah.
Now is the time to say fuck Corey.
I just can't wrap my head around that personally. I mean,
For one, that's insane.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Neil?
I have no thoughts.
Like period.
You
That's
prefer
it's like,
not to speak.
oh man.
All right. So Neil, will you take us out of here?
Oh, did we not go through
We
our
haven't done
ratings,
our
dude?
ratings yet, yeah.
Good thing I'm hosting tonight.
Yeah.
Give us your ratings there, Mr. Canadia.
Canadia, I always forgot to say my rating.
I always forgot.
For me, overall enjoyability, it's honest like solid 8. It's really enjoyable. Rewatchability, I'd say 10 because it's so bad it's fun, kind of like Iced. Buy or rent, I'd say buy right away. Absolutely.
Yeah. For me it's like an 8 out of 10. Great stuff.
How come I said, will you take us out of here? You didn't even rate it yet.
Even I caught that, and I'm not
Yeah.
normally on your show.
Yeah, we need a Neil on it.
It's like
AKA FAG.
Somebody's got to keep you in line.
Mm.
Yep.
I'm fine with my line. I'm fine with my line, you motherfucking South American gangster.
South American Gangster. Well, that's a new one. Yeah, and it's definitely a buy for me.
Well,
I'll give it-
you still don't own it, so.
Not yet, but it's one I'm definitely gonna.
Get it before it goes out of print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it will. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to say one thing. In the beginning of the film, the way it opens and shit, like I gotta say, what was her name? Damn. Can I remember the name, please? I wrote it to you, B. It's let me find it. How come it's not in my notes?
Good job, bud.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing good, right? I'm doing good, right? How come I don't find it?
While you're looking, I will go with my ratings.
Yeah, no.
It's an 8 out of 10 for me. rewatchability. It's an 8 out of 10 as well because it's one of those movies that Barbie Benton, man, just look at her all day long.
Yep.
And it's got some good scenes in it, some really scary shit in there too with the doctor and the stalking, and I like the opening too when they're kids. That shit's pretty
Yeah.
good too.
I,
And then
I one thing I gotta say about that, you saying that just reminded me. I just love the fact that somehow one kid managed to like hang some other kid by his like face.
right.
You know, it's not even like, you know, you put a rope around his neck or anything. No, it's like he just kind of jammed his head into like a coat rack or something. I just think that's kind of awesome.
in a matter of seconds too.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Valentine Day was a big deal at Susan House in 1981, bro.
It's very true. Oh,
And of course the viability. I mean, I bought it day one that it was announced, so
yeah.
most definitely.
Bye.
Definitely.
So Neil, are you gonna take us out of here?
All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our wonderful review tonight, despite the Canadian over there. And join us again next time on the Bay of Blood, and make sure you listen to me on the NFW podcast, the Hard to Kill podcast, and the It's Not Horror, okay, where we just released a wonderful, wonderful movie called Ninja 3: The Domination. So check that out. And until we meet again,
Yeah, I'm looking forward
the
to
Bay of Blood, boy.
I'm looking forward to jump on that It's Horror Okay or Not podcast. You better invite me there, motherfucker, because I'm gonna pull up with a rock and a sock.
Every time I invite you, you always say, "Oh, I gotta work. I ain't got time."
Well, son, your ass ain't easy, bro.
No, it's true. When you look like that, nobody wants to buy it.
All right.
Yeah.
See y'all.
Yeah. See y'all later.